wondered why the market always goes against you many times after you've bought a share? Then share prices started to drop. Is it because that the market doesn't like you? How do we overcome this situation then? M+ Wiz, which alerts on potential entry for trending stocks, might do the trick for you. Is that all for this feature? Not at all. To find out more, please visit us at mplusonline.com/wiz.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining our Facebook live section today. Okay, so before we start our section today, can I just get a really quick check if all of you right here can hear my voice clearly? If yes, please do comment and let me know. Thank you very much. Okay, so today's section is a corporate briefing session on Haily Group Berhad. We are grateful for having this opportunity to provide a platform for our clients and followers to know more about the company before listing. A big thank you to Haily Group Berhad and Swan Consultancy for their time and this wonderful opportunity. So do share out the video so that your friends and families can be benefited and know more about this IPO company. Okay, so if they are working today, they are not free right now, don't worry, because this video they can play back anytime. So do tag in the comments so that they can play back and know more about Haily Group. Okay, so let me share with you all a little bit about Haily Group Berhad. Haily Group Berhad is primarily involved in the building construction of residential and non-residential buildings in the southern region of Peninsular Malaysia. The company has accumulated a track record of approximately 13 years in undertaking projects, construction works since the commencement of building construction in 2008. As a G7 CIDB registered main contractor, the company is responsible for the overall project, including project management from planning, appointment of subcontractors, procurement of labor and materials, and monitoring all stages of construction works to ensure the completion of works and up to project handover to customer. Okay, so now let us welcome the CEO and Executive Director of Haily Group, Mr. Yong, the CFO of Haily Group, Mr. Long, the COO of Haily Group, Mr. Lim, Ms. Stephanie, and Mr. Gan from Swan Consultancy, and our Head of Research, Lui Lu. Welcome and thank you for your time for being here today. Let's start our section with a short video about Haily Group right now.
Our Haily Group Berhad, a company incorporated as private limited company Haily Group Sdn Bhd on the 21st of February 2020 and was converted to a public limited company on the 25th of August 2020 to embark on the listing of our group on the ACE market. Prior to its establishment, the team behind the Haily Group had been actively involved in the construction industry since 2007, with our first project commencing in 2008. Today, our many completed projects have earned us a reputation for quality, reliability, and excellence. We are an investment holding company with two wholly owned subsidiaries, Haily Construction Sdn Bhd and Haily Machinery Sdn Bhd. First incorporated in 2007, Haily Construction Sdn Bhd specializes in the construction of residential and non-residential buildings and is supported by Haily Machinery Sdn Bhd, a company incorporated in 2011 that is involved in the provision of rental of construction machinery. Together, they form the core of the Haily Group, a building construction contractor responsible for the overall residential and non-residential building construction projects including project management, from planning, appointment of subcontractors, procurement of labor and materials, and monitoring of all stages of a project before the final handover. And as a certified CIDB G7 contractor, Haily Construction Sdn Bhd is allowed to undertake construction contracts without restriction on contract value. We aspire to be the choice builder by delivering high-quality construction products and services to our customers in a timely manner, while seeking to create sustainable returns for all our stakeholders. In all that we do, we strive to achieve this by upholding our group's mission. The Haily Group began operating in 2008 after registering with the CIDB, where we took on our first construction project to build 4 blocks of 4-story buildings, comprising 28 units for the breeding of swiftlets in Mersing, Johor. In 2009, we secured our first residential project contract at Taman Seri Pulai Perdana 2 and Sierra Perdana project. In 2011, Haily Machinery Sdn Bhd was incorporated with the intention of providing rental of construction machinery for Haily Construction. And in 2012, we undertook our first high-rise building construction project, the 19-story apartment block named Summerscape Johor Bahru. In 2014, we secured the contract to build the iSynergy Business Park, our first industrial building project. This was followed in the same year by our first serviced apartment contract, Meridian Bayview Phase 1. In 2018, we won our first contract for a low-cost housing project, Rumah Mampu Milik Johor RMMJ and Perumahan Community Johor PKJ at Taman Nusa Central. In 2019, we became an accredited ISO 9001-2015 company, certifying us as fully compliant with international quality management systems and consistency in delivering quality products and services. The Haily Group is led by a highly qualified management team that has been responsible for bringing the company to where it is today. Haily Group's founder and executive director, Mr. C. Tin Hai, has more than 4 decades of experience in the construction industry. He, together with the co-founder and wife, Kik Siew Lee, are both responsible for setting the company's directions and strategic goals. Ms. C. Swee Ling, Executive Director, and Mr. Yong Woi Ye, Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director. The Board of Directors also include Tuan Haji Muhammad Jafar bin Awang Ismail, the Independent Non-Executive Chairman, Mr. Tan Sui Huan, the Senior Independent Non-Executive Director, and Mr. Ong Keng Swee, the Independent Non-Executive Director. At the Haily Group, we specialize in residential, commercial and industrial building construction projects, including high-rise buildings and shop offices, show galleries and dormitories. Here is a showcase of our completed projects. Year on year, Haily Group has demonstrated its ability to sustain steady growth, achieving annual revenues of 174 million ringgit in 2018, 158 million ringgit in 2019, and 166 million ringgit in 2020, despite the economy being hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. This success demonstrates the key values that we, as a builder, can offer. From our proven track record for timely project completion. At the end of the financial year 2020, the Haily Group's net asset and total asset value were 52 million ringgit and 137 million ringgit respectively. Team of experienced managers who ensure the best project outcomes, as evidenced by the quality of both our completed and ongoing works. Our commitment and ability to deliver consistent excellence has earned us recognition among high-profile corporate clients and key organizations in the country. And this is why we believe we can help. with the leadership of our CEO and executive directors, all of whom are experienced in the building construction industry, which has culminated in an established track record of 65 construction projects in 13 short years, spanning the full scope of the construction of residential and non-residential buildings, many comprising recurring requests from previous customers, including subsidiaries of PLCs and other private companies. Our operations are also characterized by ongoing construction projects with total secured and unbilled contract values necessary to sustain us in the short term and secure sufficient projects to assure business continuity. Thus, we hope we can work together for the benefit of all parties. Pride in all we do, together we build the future.
We will now move on to Haily's corporate presentation by Mr. Long.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Long Chiao Seong. I am the CFO of Haily Group Berhad. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to make a corporate presentation to you in conjunction with Haily Group Berhad listing on the AIS market of Bursa Securities. Without much ado, let me commence my presentation with a disclaimer note. First, on the presentation flow, we will start with an IPO summary, followed by information relating to Haily Group Berhad. I will then provide you with some financial highlights, future plans and strategies, and our key investment highlights. In our appendices, I will walk you through our completed projects and some financials. IPO summary. The IPO of Haily Group Berhad is in conjunction with its listing on the AIS market of Bursa Securities at an IPO price of 68 cents per share under the sector of construction services with a total market capitalization of Ringgit Malaysia 121,258,076. Haily offerings consist of a public issue of 30 million shares and an offer for sale of 80 million shares. The public issue consists of 8.92 million shares for application by the Malaysian public, 10 million shares under the pink form, and another 11.08 million shares under private placement. The offer for sales for 80 million shares by the promoter is by way of private placement too. There is a 6-month moratorium imposed on the shares held by the promoters. TA Securities Holdings Berhad is the principal advisor, sponsor, underwriter, and placement agent. And the latest practicable date, or LPD, under the prospectus is 4th June 2021. The gross proceeds from the listing of 20.4 million ringgit shall be utilized as follows. Capital expenditure is at 4.2 million. Working capital requirements at RM6 million. Repayments of bank borrowing at RM7 million. The balance of 3.2 million to be allocated for deferring listing expenses. As for the capital expenditure, planned for a total of 4.2 million ringgit, we intend to utilize 3 million ringgit for the purchase of scaffolding, RM650,000 to buy 5 units of backhoe loaders, 96,000 ringgit for 6 units of tractors, and the balance of 454,000 ringgit to acquire new contract management and accounting software with some office equipment. The tentative timeline of the offerings are 30th June 2021, opening for sales following the prospectus launch, 7 July 2021, the IPO closing date, 12 July 2021, balloting, 19 July 2021, allotment of shares, and listing is on the 21st of July 2021. So now let's move on to Haily Group Berhad. We are a G7 main contractor registered with the CIDB, which allows us to undertake building construction work with no limit to the contract value. We are primarily involved in the building constructions of residential and non-residential buildings. We also provide rental of construction machinery. On the residential building constructions, we build single-dwelling buildings such as terrace, cluster, semi-detached, and detached houses. Besides that, we also build multi-dwellings residential buildings such as high-rise apartment. As for the non-residential buildings, we construct service apartments, commercial complex, shop offices, terrace villas under the category of commercial buildings. Under purpose-built buildings, we build workers' dormitory, sales gallery, and clubhouse. We also build factories under the industrial building category and school as well. A small portion of our business in civil engineering construction works and rental of construction machinery, which are mostly for internal use purpose. We have proven track record in the provision of quality construction works and established relationship with our customers. Our principal markets are in the state of Johor and concentrated in the district of Johor Bahru, Kulai, and Pontian. As you can see, our customers are mostly subsidiaries of public listed companies such as Marsing Groups of Companies, IOI Groups of Companies, IJM Groups of Companies, Contribute Resources Sdn Bhd, which is a subsidiary of Contribute Berhad, and AME Development Sdn Bhd, the subsidiaries of AME Elites Consortium Berhad. Besides that, the other customers are private limited company with established presence in the property development in Johor, such as Austin Senibong, Gunung Impian Development, Danau Home, Techland, Peninsular Group, and etc. Our group is relatively simple with Haily Group Berhad, the investment holding company, which is the company going for IPO. Its wholly owned subsidiaries are Haily Construction Sdn Bhd, which is in the business of constructions of residential and non-residential buildings, while Haily Machinery is involved in the provision of rental of construction machinery. We now look at the key milestone over the past 14 years in the industry. 2007 saw the incorporation of Haily Construction Sdn Bhd, and the following year, it registered with the CIDB and commenced construction. In that same year, Haily Construction commenced construction for residential and non-residential buildings, including a construction of a 4-story building used in the breeding of swiftlet in the district of Mersing in the state of Johor. In the year 2009, we secured first of several building construction contracts for 2 projects, namely Taman Seri Pulai Perdana 2 and Siara Perdana. Haily Machinery was incorporated in 2011. The same year, we achieved 2 conquest certification. We secured our first high-rise building construction project, the Summerscape Johor Bahru, in 2012. In 2014, we secured our first industrial building contracts. In that same year, we got our first service apartment contract, the Project Kelentong High-Rise Phase 1. We achieved our 3rd conquest certification in 2015. This is followed by the Phase 2 of the Kelentong High-Rise project in 2016. In 2018, we secured 2 affordable housing contracts, the Rumah Mampu Milik Johor RMNJ and Perumahan Community Johor PKJ. That year, we got our UTILISATION certification from the CIDB. Year 2019, we were accredited with the ISO 9001:2015 Quality Management System certification. We also achieved a 3-star Shashik Award from CIDB. We were again awarded the top 10 recipient of the SME 100 Malaysia Fast Moving Companies Award 2019 by Business Media International. In 2020, we were awarded Grade A by the Department of Occupational Safety and Health Malaysia, or better known as DOSH, for our Haily head office. We are now at the ongoing projects of Haily Group. As at 10 June 2021, Haily has a total of 18 ongoing projects for building construction of residential and non-residential buildings, and 2 civil engineering works with a total contract value of Ringgit Malaysia 460.04 million. Total unbilled order book from these projects is Ringgit Malaysia 249.58 million, and they are expected to contribute to the group's revenue for the year 2021 to 2023. Let's take a look briefly at some of the photos of our ongoing projects undertaken during the period under review that is above 1 million in contract value. Allow me to introduce our members of the board of Haily Group. Our independent non-executive chairman is Tuan Haji Muhammad Jaafar bin Awang. He dedicated over 30 years of his career with the state government of Johor. When he retired, and his last position was Mayor of Johor Bahru when he retired in August 2011. He then was appointed directors of several private companies in 2013 before he was reappointed to be the member of the Johor Public Service Commission in 2014. He completed his term in 2018. Tuan Haji Muhammad Jaafar is independent non-executive director of Haily Holdings Berhad, which is listed on the main market of Bursa Securities. Mr. C. Teng Hai is the founder, promoter, substantial shareholder, and executive director. He has more than 40 years of experience in the construction industry. He founded Haily Construction in 2007, and he is responsible for supervising the day-to-day management of our group. Our CEO and Executive Director, Mr. Yung Wee Ye, has 19 years of experience in engineering and construction. He joined Haily Construction in 2009, became the CEO in 2019, and subsequently promoted to the position of CEO of the group in 2020. Next, our Executive Director, Ms. Kik Siew Lee, has more than 12 years of corporate experience under her belt. She joined Haily Construction in 2009, promoted to be its director in 2012, and subsequently appointed to be the Executive Director of Haily Group in 2020. Mr. Tan Swee Huat, our Senior Independent Non-Executive Director, is a lawyer by profession with more than 38 years of experience. He is the managing partner of the legal firm KH Co, and he is also a member of the disciplinary committee of the Advocates and Solicitors Disciplinary Board. Finally, Mr. Ong Keng Sui, our independent non-executive director, has more than 40 years in the audit and accounting industry. He's the member of the ACCA, a chartered accountant of the MIA, and a member of the Malaysian Institute of Taxation. He is the independent non-executive director in Haily Group Berhad, a public listed company on the main market of Bursa Securities. We now move to the management team. Myself, Long Chiao Seong, CFO of Haily Group. I'm the CPA and also a chartered accountant of MIA with more than 31 years of experience in accounting and finance matter. I joined Haily Construction in 2019 and appointed CFO of Haily Group in 2020. Our COO, Mr. Lim Kok Siang, has more than 20 years of experience in the construction industry, and he joined Haily Construction in 2010 and promoted to the position of COO of Haily Group in 2020. Let's now take a look at some statistics of our order book. It shall be noted that generally, Haily Construction's projects are mostly landed, which have much shorter construction period ranging from 12 to 18 months, as opposed to high-rise, which took longer than 2 years to construct. Further, they are smaller in terms of scale, easier to manage, and provide faster return to the group. This minimizes our exposure to various risks associated with uncertainties due to the prolonged duration of construction. As at 10 June 2021, Haily has a total of 18 ongoing projects for building construction of residential and non-residential buildings and 2 civil engineering works with total secured value of Ringgit Malaysia 460.04 million. Unbilled order book from this project is Ringgit Malaysia 249.58 million and expected to contribute revenue to the group as follows. From June 2021 to 31st of December 2021 at 120 million ringgit, RM 134 million for the financial year 2022, and the balance of 6 million ringgit in the financial year 2023. We now examine some financial highlights. We have 2 graphs here. The left is about our annual financial performance from the financial year 2017 all the way to 2020. In terms of revenue, in blue, gross profit in orange, and profit after tax in green. The right graph is about profit margin, such as the gross profit margin in blue, profit before tax margin in orange, and profit after tax margin in green. Kindly note that the supporting schedules to all these statistics are provided in the subsequent appendices of this presentation slides, which I won't be going into details later. I would like to highlight that a higher profit was registered for financial year 2017 despite the lower revenue. This was due to the concurrent projects Plantong High Rise Phase 1 and Phase 2 undertaken by the group in 2017. These non-residential projects have higher GP margin. The 2017 revenue comprised of 75% of non-residential segment with an average gross profit margin of 22%, as opposed to the residential, which was at 10%. The 2018 revenue registered a big jump, was due to the rise in the residential contribution at 45%, and the drop in the non-residential segment to 54%. As the project Plantong High Rise Phase 1 was completed in 2017, and also higher percentage work done for various residential projects. Thereafter, the group has been registering constant growth in revenue, gross profit, and profit before and profit after tax. As the group concentrated more on residential projects, which is as high as 74% for 2019 and 87% for 2020, as the property markets enter into the consolidation stage in Johor. Further, the group undertook various measures to maintain its competitiveness by managing its costs effectively through negotiation with our subcontractors and suppliers with the view to sustain our bottom lines. The next 3 slides provide segmental analysis of our revenue, gross profits, and gross profit margin, which I have explained briefly on the movement of over the financial period under review from 2017 to 2020. We take a look at the EBITDA and would like to highlight that the 2018 drop was due to the completion of the project Plantong High Rise Phase 1 in the year 2017, which has contributed a total of 42% of the total gross profit of 2017. Our current ratios shows that we enjoy a healthy liquidity with the low of 1.53 times in 2017 to the high of 1.6 times in 2019. Next is borrowings, which were relatively low at around 2 million to 3 million at the end of financial year 2017 to 2019. The increase in borrowings in 2020 arose from drawdown from loan facilities due to slower payment from our customer owing to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. In the year 2020, we procure additional loan facilities of 46 million ringgit as standby fund, which we could utilize to mitigate potential negative impact from the pandemic and also for use in our expansion of our business activity. Gearing was low, fluctuating from low of 0.04 times to 0.115 times during the period under review. Our cash flows are strong, increasing year by year from 13.4 million ringgit in 2017 to 21.3 million ringgit in 2020. We now come to the group's future plans and strategies. We aspire to maintain a sustainable growth in our business and aim to create long-term shareholder values by continue to focus on the building construction in Johor, where our core competency lies. As mentioned, we have a total of 20 ongoing construction projects, giving rise to a total secured contract value of ringgit Malaysia 460.04 million and unbilled order books of 249.58 million ringgit as at 10 of June 2021. We also intend to expand into other districts in Johor beside our core location in Kulai and Johor Bahru. As a matter of fact, in June 2021, we have secured a new building construction contract amounted to 51.46 million ringgit in the district of Pontian. We believe Johor has great potential by virtue that in year 2020, Johor accounted for 10.3% of the total value of the construction work done in Malaysia. We plan capital expenditure to be financed from our listing proceeds to acquire new construction machinery and equipment as well as contract management and software. This will better facilitate the scheduling of our work when our projects require concurrent usage and is in anticipation of future growth. This acquisition will save us rental costs. Our annual expenditure of rental of machinery and equipment was as high as 1.5 million ringgit per year as shown in this table. We are now on the key investment highlights. I would like to reiterate that we have an excellent track record as a building contractor, having completed a total of 65 building construction projects with a total contract value of 1.29 billion ringgit since 2008. We have a healthy order book which will provide sustainable growth to the group. As mentioned earlier, we have an unbilled order books of 249.58 million from our 20 ongoing construction projects which are expected to generate revenue progressively to the group from the year 2021 to 2023. Our track record as provider of quality management works are supported by the numerous awards and recognition achieved by us, such as the ISO 9001-2015, QLASIC and SASHIC from the CIDB, as well as concourse from the Building and Construction Authorities of Singapore. We are a G7 contractor which enables us to undertake contracts with no limits. Our executive directors and key management are experienced in the industry. Mr. Si Teng Hai, our founder, substantial shareholder and executive director, has more than 40 years of industry experience. Our CEO and executive director, Mr. Yung Wee Ye, has more than 19 years of experience under his belt. Our CFO has more than 31 years of experience in accounting and finance matters. Our dividend policies is attractive. We aim to distribute at least 30% of our annual profit subject to the group's cash flow and working capital requirement upon the completion of its listing. Our relationship with our customers are well established, ranging from 2 to 10 years. And many of our new contract secures are from repeated customer. Our suppliers have been with us from 1 to 10 years, and we constantly conduct review to ensure that they meet ours and our customers' requirements at all times. Finally, our promoters are subject to moratorium of 6 months from the date of listing. After the main presentation, I will go through the appendices, i.e. in Appendix A, which is our completed projects, and Appendix B on the financials. Let's take a look at our completed projects. As mentioned, the group has completed a total of 65 building construction projects at the LPD with a total contract value of 1.29 billion ringgit since the year 2008 when the group commenced its operation. Details of projects undertaken during the period under review, i.e. from the year 2017 to the LPD of 4th June 2021 are shown in the following slides. These are the terrace houses, semi-detached houses, cluster houses, affordable houses, commercial buildings such as the shop offices and service apartments, dormitories under the purpose-built buildings category, industrial buildings such as factories, and civil engineering construction works. As mentioned earlier, we intend to distribute at least 30% of our annual profits upon listing, which is of course subject to various factors such as the level of cash and level of indebtedness, the cash flows, profits, return on equity and retained earnings, results of our operation and future levels of operation, and capital expenditure as well as other investment plan too. The following few slides on the financials, which I will not dwell much as they are supporting schedules to the main slide, but generally they are the audited financial figures for financial year 2017 to 2020 for the comprehensive income, financial position, statement of cash flows. We also show the segmental analysis of our revenue according to our top customer for the financial year 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. We also presented annual revenue, gross profits, and gross profit margins segmented according to business activity from the year 2017 to 2020. Analysis of other income as well for the relevant years too. Thank you for being patient with me throughout this presentation, and I shall end now by wishing you all best of health and take care. I shall now hand over to the floor to our MC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for such a wonderful presentation. I believe everyone have get a lot of informative sharing from the Haily Group. Okay, so just for information, Haily Group just conducted its prospectus launch yesterday. Okay, fresh in the IPO section. Okay, so after today's section, now you know why you should subscribe to this IPO. Okay, the IPO price is at 68 cents, and the last day to subscribe is by July 7. Okay, so if any of you right here do not know how to subscribe, or you're facing any difficulties to subscribe to the IPO, do feel free to look for your dealer, or you can approach us on Facebook. Our city chat will always feel free and to help you with all these inquiries. Okay, so right now we will move on to the long waiting Q&A sections. I believe many is waiting to ask directly to Haily's board of directors about their companies to know more before they apply to the IPO. Okay, so please type your questions under the comment section below. Okay, so our speaker will try their best to answer all your questions right over here. Okay, so right now I see there's a question. Okay, it's by Charlie. Okay, Charlie is asking, what is your target price upon listing? Yeah, I believe only God knows where the price is gonna go, right? Even the best trader in the world cannot control on the share price. But I would think the audience would be really interested to know what is the projection for the company for the year 2021 and 2022. How about we get Mr. Long to share a little bit on this with us? Mr. Long?
Well, I would have to disappoint the person who asked this question. Well, I can say that we are not able to announce any estimates due to compliance, but I can probably add here is our progress for the current financial year is encouraging based on our recent quarterly results, which will be announced a couple of days before the listing date, which is on the 21st of July. And also based on the outlook of the construction industry, which is expected to improve in the second half of 2021. That's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Long. While we are waiting for more questions, meanwhile, let me pass the floor to Louis to share some of his insights and also maybe some questions from him from the research point of view. Thank you, Louis.
Okay, hi, I'm Louis here. Thank you for joining us in this event. I would welcome you and also congratulate you all into this IPO listing. So first and foremost, I think everyone knows that you are a G7 contractor, but maybe you can give some idea on what is the Grade 7 contractor, what is the range of projects that Grade 7 contractor can take up and also bid for. Maybe that will give them some light on what is the outlook for your future projects like. Okay.
Hi, I'll answer this question here. I'm Lim. Okay, as a Grade 7 registered contractor with the CIDB, we are able to take on any project size. So it's like unlimited. Like there's no limit to the project size that we can take on. Thank you.
Okay, noted. How about the next question to give the retailers some idea on what is the biggest size of your previous projects that you have taken on? That will give them some idea on the future project as well. So maybe you can answer this.
Well, currently the biggest project size that we have secured was 305 million. It's a high-rise project located in Plentong, Johor Bahru. Yeah.
So on this scenario, right? When you are because you are always focusing on a high low rise right now, right? But given the choice, which one is a better pick in terms of high rise and low rise, and easier to accomplish and also margin wise? Which one is more favorable in that sense?
Okay, so the more favorable for us, because based on our track record, of course, landed residential projects and commercials is were the projects that we have completed the most. So of course, on favor side, landed residential and commercial will be the one that we favor on. But of course, we will also look into any opportunities that comes along, be it high rise or any other kinds of project, as long it is favorable to us.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about,
Please,
favorable. Sorry. Yeah.
Please, I would like to add on this. So basically, of course, some of the investors might ask about the overhang in the Johor market, which we experiencing some of the news saying that, right? So our decision on going for low rise or high rise in this Johor market. So basically, of course, we also look at the market demand, right? So basically, right now, what we see is, of course, there are some overhang in terms of the high rise projects. but the demand for the landed property are still there is quite a lot, quite numbers. That's why our current strategy is actually to move on the landed project, which is in the demand at the current market. So yeah, right.
So you're saying that under current market situation, the high-rise building is still more demanding. Is that right?
No, the landed projects.
Landed, okay. Okay, so that would be your future direction for Haily Group, right? To bid for landed property.
Yeah, as you can see, our current 18 ongoing construction projects, and I would say most of it is all landed projects. So at the moment, we are more targeted on this product that is more demanding in the market, right?
Can you share some idea on what is the profit margin normally you are able to get for low rise versus high rise?
So
any that you can share?
So I think it was we would say that based on the track record So based on the track record, basically our ranging of the profit margin are ranged between the 4.88% to about 6.5%. So this is basically the range which we think is within the market. However, talking about the type of project, basically it's still within the range. It's still within this range, I would say.
Basically, is within the industry standard.
Okay, so it's a sort of mid single digit kind of range of net margins, is that right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So talking about these margins, right? I'm also quite interested to know that what is your biggest cost in terms of construction company?
Well, of course, the cost-wise, let me see. I mean, let's take for financial year 2020, the subcontracted services command the highest proportion of the total cost of sales. For this instance, is at about 65%. But if we are talking about in terms of construction materials, then the bulk of the materials cost that the bulk of the material cost is actually comprised of concrete and also steel-based material, which in the financial year 2020 accounted for 16.74%.
Okay. So talking about this, because you're saying also that the steel and concrete will be somewhat your cost. So recently we know that the raw material prices has been on the way up. How is this impacting Haily Group?
Well, notwithstanding that there are up and downs due to the chain of economic conditions, the demand and supply. To what I wish to say is, as far as to Haily Group is concerned, there is increases, but then there is no material adverse impact on the financial performance of our group.
So normally when there is an increase in prices, you are able to translate or pass on the costs to the property developer. Is that right, or the end user?
Well, if you look at our order book and the ongoing projects that we had at this juncture is 18 numbers as at the 10th of June 2021. So with that volume that we have, we are able to, in a way, mitigate the risk as far as the increase of the materials that we consume. So by negotiating with our suppliers, with our subcontractors, so therefore that's why I say that we would be able to contain and ensure that the impact is not that great on us.
Okay, so normally the time delay will be quarterly by quarterly basis. Can I say that way?
Yes, you're right.
Okay, can. So I mean, right now it's on the way up, but when on the way down, then you might benefit as well, right?
Yes,
More
that's right.
can offset effect. Okay.
They
Okay,
are trend up and down.
Yeah. So maybe you can focus on other things. Right now, there are some questions coming in. Is this a Shara compliant counter? I think maybe you can answer that to the, yeah.
Yes. Haily Group is a Shara compliance company.
Okay.
And
I
we
guess
also,
there's,
sorry. And we also intend to expand our client base as this will enhance our reputation of our construction services in Malaysia. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And also there are some question asking about the dividend policy. I believe that just now you all already mentioned the 30% policy that once you are listed, you are going to pay out that as to reward the shareholders. Is that right?
Yeah, you're right, Luis. Yeah, maybe let me make a bit of emphasis here in respect of the payment that we have made for our dividend in the past few years. Say, in this case, is in respect of the financial year 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. We have actually declared and paid out a dividend totaling 10 million, 5.25 million, 6 million and 2.5 million respectively. So you are right. Yes, our board intend to recommend and distribute dividend at least 30% of our annual profits attributable to the shareholders upon the completion of this listing. Thank you.
Okay. So just want to ask about the tender book size. Do you have a tender book that you all always bid for, and what is the value right now? Because that would also dictate your future potential profits, right?
Well, apologies on this because tender book is sensitive information for which is critical to our company, to the business.
Okay.
So what we can share here is that we have a very encouraging success rate where you see in the year 2021 we have already secured 7 projects. Total contract value is amounting up to 168 million. So we believe that we are continuing to secure contracts for this year. So everything should be looking positively on our side.
Okay, just like you mentioned about the order book that you have secured right now is around 168 million. Can we, because right now it's already 6 months, right? Can we double up that to become your annualized order book? Is that fair to say you are able to get around 320 to 350 million order book for 2021?
Well, we're trying our best to secure more projects actually. Yeah, but we can't promise on the contract sum right now.
It's actually due to compliance that we cannot actually.
Sure. I mean, just.
Yeah.
Okay, Ken. But how about on the success rate? Just like you say, very encouraging. Is there any percentage that you all always look at in terms of success rate?
As we mentioned just now, due to it is not disclosed under the prospectus. Basically, we are not actually not confident to actually answer any question on this. So yeah.
Okay.
Right. Hope you understand that.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Totally understand, because right now is also before listing. I think we are trying to be conservative as well, and we will try to do whatever we can. Okay. So I think we can take a few more questions from the floor. Let me check the questions. LK, maybe is there any questions that you find interesting?
Okay, I think we know that Haily projects are mainly focused in the southern side, Johor. Okay, so I believe there are quite a number of people that they want to know if Haily is interested to expand into KL area or even to the northern sides. Any plan for that?
Oh, yeah. Actually, we are a Johor-based company, which since our establishment, most of all our project basically is all located at Johor. Why is so is because actually we are more familiar and well known about the market demand. So of course, as of now, our current plan is to actually basically most of our project is located within the district of Kulai and Johor Bahru, and our moving forward plan is to expand our reach to the other district within Johor area. So of course, nevertheless, if in the future there is a good opportunity, which we think that is a benefit to the shareholder and the companies, of course, we will plan to do so also. But at the moment, we are still focusing on the expansion within the other district within Johor. And recently, we also got a project that which is out of this Kulai and Johor Bahru, which is located at the district of Pontian. Yeah, so it's actually in line in our expansion plan.
Okay. Maybe, from what I know is I have some friends in Johor. Okay, they were mentioning because of the border closed, Johor side Singaporean they can't come in, and the market over there they actually have they don't have Singapore investors. So how Haily actually can maintain their performance in the year during this COVID pandemic?
Well, okay. First, of course, of course, Singapore, of course, is a very good spending power in this Johor market. However, like what you mentioned just now, those current projects that we are having right now is all selling below the foreigner threshold level, which is below 1 million. So all our current project is mainly market for the locals, or maybe some of the locals that are working in Singapore and the family is here, right? So as of now, from the response that we understand, basically the houses is actually selling quite okay. There may be some headache here and there for the signing of document where the purchaser is working in Singapore. That's only what we heard. But basically, the target of our existing client product is actually for more on local instead of Singaporean. So that's why I would say that it will not much effect on our current projects.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay. I think Manny would really want to also. Well, yeah, Louis, please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have one question. Because right now MCO 3.0 is quite quite flexible versus MCO 1.0, but still we are not seeing a lot of construction activities around. So what is the impact on Haily Group during this MCO 3.0?
Yeah. As of now, we are still most of our project is still under this movement control, but it's actually our project is not under ESG service project. But however, we are also dealing with most of our authority side on the resumption of works lah. So I would say part of the reason also is because maybe the whole supply chain of the construction industry is not moving very well, such as, you're talking about material, the manufacturer, when you resume your works, but there are some shortage here and there due to the other site which is not operating, So that is also part of the reason. Of course, it's not straight at MCO 1.0, but due to the whole supply chain is not working very well. So that's why I would say, there are not much activity moving on as of now.
Okay, given that scenario, right, because you have achieved around 10.4 million in FY20, so that is also inclusive of MCO 1.0, right? So can we roughly say that it would be somewhat similar to FY20 in terms of the earnings?
As of now, we still can't foresee what it's going to extend to, but based on what we experienced early on and the current situation where the vaccination progress as compared to MCO 1.0, which we don't know when it's going to end, right? But as of now, at least we can see the vaccination progress is already in progress in basically the whole Malaysia. So which we will say that is a better prospect as compared to earlier. So of course, to us, we will have a more positive point toward this coming resumption of works.
Okay, can. From my side, I think I have one more question because I saw your FY 18, 19, and 20 earnings are quite substantial in terms of I think it can go into main board, but why do you choose to list in A's market? Is there any reason that you are choosing A's market over main board?
Yeah, let me take this question. For Haily Group, as far as the listing requirement, we meet the requirements as far as for main market. But we due to our market capitalization, which is not that large, so we decided to go on A's market. However, I think as far as this concerned, we would focus on our business to grow the business, and with the right timing in the future, when our shareholders' value is further enhanced, at the right appropriate time, we will apply to upgrade to main market, and I believe that will better enhance our value, the value of our shareholders' equity.
Okay, sure. I think I will just ask one last question. Because I saw that your IPO proceeds around 30 to 40% is going into paring down the debts, right? So what will the debt level be once you have pared down the debt, and can you give us the figure?
Well, at this juncture, our debts as at the LPD is around 7 million, 7.57 if I'm not wrong. So we intend to utilize 7 million from the listing proceed to pay down this level of borrowing. The balance of the debts will be from our internal generated fund. So anyway, as far as borrowing is concerned, it's a moving target. So whenever we have that requirement, then we will draw down from the loan facilities. But taking into consideration our cash flow, as at the end of the financial year 2020, our cash and cash equivalent is around 21.53 million. And also with the listing proceed expected to accrue to the company of 20.4, our loan is merely at 7.57 million. So I would say that our cash flow position will be very strong.
Okay, great. So that's all from my side. I think I shall thank everyone here, Lim Kok Siang, Mr. Yong, and Mr. Long, and I'll pass back to LP. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Louis. Okay, so I think we're gonna take one last question from the floor before we conclude the section for today. Okay, so there's a question. Vincent is asking if he would like to compare your peers in the same industry, the same locality. What companies that you think that he should compare? Any listed company that can come into your mind?
I would say this, that actually there are a few our competitors around the market. Of course, they are limited company or also private public listed company. So, however, I would say we should look for our so-called our core competency. Which is we have a key investment highlight, which we have a established track record for the past 13 years and completed 65 building construction amounting to contract value of 1.29 billion, and also a very healthy order book which can last us for the year 2023. And also this proven track record substantiated with quality assessors that come from the UTILISATION and the CONTOH of Singapore. And also we all this where we are today is actually we have a big team of experienced key management. So which is our founder, Mr. C, ourselves, and the senior management team, to bring to where Haily today. So, and as you can see, our current and previous order books mostly come from the repeated customer. As we expand our business, so I would say that those repeated customer will be given providing us this revenue. So these are the key investment highlight that key point from our company, right? So I would say as compared to peers, so we would say we have certain position in the market, yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for such an informative section. Okay. Okay, so I believe everyone here today knows Haily Group much better after today's sections. And once again, we would like to express our gratitude to the management of Haily and also Swan Consultancy for today's section. Thank you for your time and really much appreciated. Okay, and for all of you right here, thank you for joining us today. Okay, do like and share our video to show your support so that we can do much more similar events for you all in the near future. Okay, so thank you very much, and we wish all the best on the IPO listing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Haily Group. Bye bye.